Welcome to the Sporty Stream into the Rocket League Splash Series playoffs. I'm joined by the Splash Man himself, Tommy Buckets. Welcome in, nice to see you here. Welcome everyone to the Sporty Stream. And as I said, Rocket League Splash Series Season 5 playoffs ahead of us. A quarterfinals in the Tsunami Cup, a semifinals in the Surge Cup, and some teams eliminated, some teams moving on. And we're getting closer and closer to deciding who our ultimate winners will be. There's 4 of them, and we're gonna be going through 2 of the leagues. So Tommy Buckets, what a night it is, though. There's so many playoff action because we got a quarterfinals here, and we've got a ton of semifinals in the Surge Cup happening simultaneously.
Yeah, so what's happening tonight is the semifinals in the Riptide and Surge Cup, and it's awesome, man. I'm super pumped to kick things off here tonight. We have Affinity Reborn had a phenomenal regular season taking on the Order Paradox. I feel like they've got the right pieces to the puzzle, but it's about putting that puzzle together. What better way to do it against probably one of the toughest opponents you're going to see in the postseason? Affinity Reborn has played phenomenally well, both in RLSS, but also in other leagues. I think me and you have both witnessed them on some pretty magnificent runs deep into some playoffs. So I expect them to bring that similar energy. And the Order Paradox, it's about can they step into the batter's box and not just take swings, but they've got to make some runs happen. So I'm excited for it. I'm pumped to see what they can do. Sometimes miracles happen in the playoffs. Some wild stuff. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the Riptide division, but every game of the quarterfinals, Sporty went to Game 7.
Oh, it's a pretty impressive statistic here. Maybe we'll see the same with these matchups, but for now, as you mentioned, this is the quarterfinals, so we're not quite in the semifinals for this league just yet, but we're getting pretty close to it. 3 of our semifinalists have been decided. Pink Lemonade, Mach 10, and 909 are there. Affinity Reborn and Order Paradox want to be that last one here. This is your time to do it here between both these teams. As you mentioned, Affinity Reborn needs no introduction. These guys are the #1 overall team in the league, the only ones to go undefeated. Order Paradox, actually a team that is in the same group as them, who actually lost this team during the regular season. In fact, they lost in week 4. We got to see that on this stream. They got swept by Affinity Reborn. It was not very pretty. And the main reason why is the fact that Affinity Reborn has swept most of teams is the fact that they have such a solid team chemistry. They've only gone to Game 5 once, and that was against World, who haven't even made it this far into the playoff bracket. So for what it's worth, Affinity Reborn, there's a reason one of the top teams here. It's because that team chemistry is just so tough to beat, and a team like Order Paradox, or really any team in this bracket, they aren't going to be able to outplay them in that gameplay, but they can definitely outplay them in other aspects. Maybe we'll see a little bit more out of these teams, and maybe something different from Order Paradox, because if you are to beat Affinity Reborn, you gotta do something different.
Yeah, coming out onto the pitch, got Smoky, Juicy Leaf, Landon, backed up by Ale, and for Affinity Reborn, Soj, Elites, and Tomato. And I think you're absolutely right, Sporty. You know, we talk about Affinity Reborn. Not only do Elites and Soj as players have that cohesion, but you also have Soj and Tomato, the coach-player aspect as well. So there's just a lot of comfortability, I think, around Affinity, and it probably keeps them composed in some tough positions. Where for other teams, those types of situations, they're going to have to work out together for the first time. So it's going to be exciting to see how the Order Paradox, one, bounces back. You know they're going to have the regular season on the back of their mind. Now it's the playoffs. Nothing else matters. And sometimes magic starts happening. They get a little bit under their wings. We could see them flying.
Yeah, we could, and that's the thing about it here, is that for Affinity Reborn, one of the things that they might struggle with, though, is that adversity. Again, they've only dropped 3 games total this season, and not even series, so it doesn't happen often to them, and Order Paradox does not seem like a likely team to do it, since they've already been swept by this team in the regular season. But if Order Paradox can make those adjustments, and can find a foothold here against Affinity Reborn, I don't know how Affinity Reborn will do, knowing that there's this team playing against them that has their number. That's the interesting about these #1 teams is that so often you look at them and you say, well, there are no weaknesses, and that's because you haven't really seen them at their weakest element. And for Affinity Reborn, these guys generally aren't that weak. Even in the Blackline Championship Series, they've seen well. They made it to 2nd place in the Champions Division through an insane lower bracket run, but it's a single elimination. They lose once, that's it for their season. And that's how intense it can be here in the Tsunami Cup, especially with quite the prize pool. What's the prize pool again, Tommy Buckets, for Tsunami? It's
Tsunami, it's going to be 210. So
yeah, 210. So
about that.
pretty solid prize pool awaiting the winners and you know, those players that make it to the top of this league. So, you know, they haven't guaranteed anything yet. They got to make it pretty far to get any piece of that prize pool. But the pressure, you know, the pressure of the playoffs, you know, on the backs of these guys, gonna be pretty important. And just to add even more to that, is the fact that Affinity Reborn hadn't even played yet. They had a first round bye. The first round team forfeited. So these guys really don't know what it's going to be like. And while I don't doubt their abilities in the playoffs, it doesn't make it better when you have to play against a team who's already seasoned in the playoffs, like Order Paradox, who've already made it through a round, beating Aspire in a Game 7.
Yeah, they're just familiar with the territory, and I just think that's going to come into play a lot stronger for them than a lot of people expect. And the Order Paradox, like I said, it's about getting into the batter's box and taking not just swings but making contact, and they could do that. See a very successful night for them, and if not, I think Affinity Reborn is going to do what Affinity Reborn typically does, and that's put points. It's really going to be if they can go toe to toe and kind of be there for those blows when they start taking place.
As you said, again, we actually already have Order Paradox coming in, and it is Smokey AO joining in. So they have their sub playing tonight, and Landon. So we'll see how those three do here tonight. It's going to be quite the matchup here. Again, for Affinity Reborn, they only have 3 players. These guys have been consistent this whole season. They haven't made a single roster move either. And that's the interesting part about this, that Order Paradox do have subs. And both these teams also have tactical timeouts. We'll see how much these are utilized. I expect we're going to see a good amount of strategizing because these teams know about it. They've made it far enough in the back to know about that. And we'll see how it works here.
Yeah, sometimes, being able to pick and choose your timing of that technical timeout play a big factor. Slowing down momentum, different types of approaches you could use to try to fluctuate some of that momentum back your way. So it's going to be interesting to see how the two can get to their ability.
We're just getting messages to these guys. Hopefully they'll be here in just a minute. They are in. So everybody's coming in for a little bit of fun. Again, by the way, everybody, again, the players for Order Paradox tonight are Landon, Ale, and Smokey, who decides to go with the period tonight. So you can tell he's hard sweating in this game. he's going with the full period here for his names. This guy having a little fun with it, but we've seen this before. You know these players mean business when it comes to the playoffs, and I think now is a good time to start getting ourselves ready for it. I know we had some Smokey told me he's gonna probably change his name back as quickly as he can, so we'll give him a little bit of time to do that. Again, our next match after this. Later tonight, if we take a look at our schedule here for just a quick moment. Again, it's that semifinals matchup. Our next team not bound taking on Affinity Academy. So Affinity Reborn, with 2 teams playing tonight. The last 2 teams, I believe, left on the org playing tonight. So we'll see which of those teams, if any of those 2 teams, do make it through here for these rounds. As I just noticed, schedule's incorrect. Of course, can't be. You can't have this stream without some sort of errors. There we go. We'll fix it real quick for you all and get things sorted out. Here we go. Again, a big best of 7 matchup. 2 best of 7s. This is number 1. That semifinal will be number 2. And I think this is time to get things underway, Tommy Buckets. A best of 7 series. The quarterfinals are here. Affinity Reborn, the best team in the Tsunami Cup so far. The only team to have not lost. Taking on a team that is looking for revenge in the playoff bracket. Order Paradox have not made it this far just to lose here. So this best of 7 means a lot to them. Means the ability to take revenge, to fight back, and to make those adjustments. Order Paradox will be representing the blue side of Affinity Reborn on the orange, and this best of 7 will determine who will go to the semifinals with a chance to go all the way to the final bracket, the final match on this stream.
Affinity Reborn taking the early possession off the kickoff into the corner, nothing too dangerous as Ale now off the sidewall. Elites buries the play, and this one sits in front of the net. A little too much power. This one's going to be played away. Patience by the defense pays off as Affinity Reborn takes the opening shots on net.
Yeah, and I think that's no surprise to see from Affinity Reborn just how aggressive these guys like to be, that these guys like to push, and they're going to continue to do that. And I think for Order Paradox, not a question of if Affinity Reborn is going to score against them, they will. It's just how do you respond to it? How do you answer back? And this match will determine a lot of that here. As Elites now, a long touch, Landon will keep it out, but Affinity Reborn still at it as Elites with no boost, looking for opening opportunities, and it's Order Paradox right now, who are playing Defense Simulator over and over, and it shows you just how scary Affinity Reborn is going to be, because this is only the start of their offensive pressure.
Early on, they're gonna, they get more aggressive almost with confidence, just kind of use it as their power on the field. Elites now looking for a double, no boost, and this one's going to be played away now to the far side. Landon needs a touch, finds just enough. It's going to buy them some time, but not for long. A Soj shot on target, played away by Landon, and another defensive save, but for how long? As Elites finds one on the net.
Yeah, and he knew it was going to break by at some point. Landon has been playing insane defense so far, but he's known for that as well, but it doesn't make a difference when you play that much defense. Affinity Reborn will score, and as I said, it's not about how long it's going to take for these guys to score. It's going to be, what do Order Paradox do now that they have been scored on?
Shots come out, and I think the energy has to stay in a positive format. They've got to go toe-to-toe with these guys. The bigger that gap becomes, the quicker almost Affinity Reborn get. The confidence kind of takes over, and the aggression is where they find a lot of success late. The pinch on target, but Elites grabs it from the corner. A close call for Affinity.
Yeah, but now they're back on defense to transition, and again, it's Landon who's made that block, and we'll be seeing that a lot from Landon. This guy has been a defensive rock all season for the Order Paradox to save them out of numerous opportunities, but he's only one player here as a team bump for Affinity. Almost gave away an opportunity there, but Order Paradox sitting back so far, and gonna result in a lackluster push here, but Landon's gonna have it, and nobody challenged. Order Paradox will take it as Affinity Reborn stopped on their goal line.
I think for a moment they thought that one wasn't going to land. Landon buries it just over, and a little bit of trickery coming out as they tie things up 1-1. And I think for the Order Paradox, this is what we needed to see. The quick responses, because the points are going to ring out as Soj gets one off the crossbar.
If you can do it, I can do it better. Affinity Reborn have already answered back, and it's just a simple play off the kickoff. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. That's how Affinity Reborn has played their seasons, and it's how they continue to do so here. And again, it's what marks this team. It's a solid roster. It's not the mechanics, although they do have that. It's a lot more on the teamwork, on the simple things. They're just such a scary roster when it comes to that kind of stuff. And you know more goals can come if they get that momentum, as they almost do there. But Landon, again, stuffing the way, and right now becoming quite the keystone player for the Order of Paradox, because without Landon playing as well as he is, this game would have gotten out of hand for them.
Strong performance both on offense and defense, and has at least kept it within range as Smokey tries to get over Tomato, can't find it. Now the quick response, shot on target, played away. Now Elites, the one's capabilities starting to ring out, drops it off at the front doorstep. Again, a patient defense for the Order Paradox as they keep that one out of their net. Now quickly back the other way into the corner. Smokey wants a center, can't find it through Tomato. Affinity Reborn holding on to a 1-point lead in the final 90 seconds of play here.
Yeah, and it's an overall calm play style from Affinity Reborn. They're just looking to waste out time, but it may not be easy as Ale. Now here comes Smokey to the back wall. Elites will get the block, and Affinity Reborn quick to look for an out, but Landon, this one, double commit from Affinity Reborn, and the Order Paradox will push up more. Ale, here he goes, a one-on-one, now on two, but that second defender in Soj will stand in the way, and Affinity Reborn will waste out even more time. Order Paradox starting to panic here. Time's running out for them, and they need a goal here in game one to get the Sirs off on the right foot for them.
And then wanted a shot, but that one just a little wide into the corner. Smokey now wants it clear, but taking off the hood of his car, Tomato, an early challenge. They're going to take over possession here at the midfield line. Now Soj plays it slow, waiting for a chance to strike. Can't find it as bring it back into the zone. For the Order Paradox, they need to find one. Ooh. And Elites goes wide. He's going to want that one back. The assurancy goal goes just wide.
Yeah, but Affinity Reborn still have possession as time runs out. Order Paradox need to keep it alive here. This one, though, whipped by Smokey, and that will not do it just yet. He's got one last chance. Up goes Landon, but Tomato with the block, able to keep it alive, but on the ground, he's got to flick it high. This one, stopped by Elites, and if everybody committed, that's Affinity Reborn with game one.
Strong performance, Affinity Reborn. Just getting warm out there, and for the moment, the Order Paradox kind of standing in there. This is what we wanted to see. It's about responding to the pace of play that Affinity Reborn can put up here in game one. Affinity Reborn out in front now, leading the series 1-0. The Order Paradox playing good, Sporty. I like what we're seeing out of them. They just got to be careful on some of these approaches because in the blink of an eye, Affinity Reborn can go from one end of the pitch to the other, and it's exciting to watch.
Yeah, I think what we really need to see from Order Paradox is to relax a little bit more on Landon. He's gotten so much pressure in that game when he's handled it so well, but no matter how good Landon can be in a game, Affinity Reborn just carries so much pressure with them in that game one that eventually something would break. Order Paradox, if they have any chance of winning, it's got to be releasing that pressure from Landon and allowing him to push up further.
Yeah, and that aggression, and it needs to develop early. I think the issue that a lot of teams give is it's just too much room, and at this level, that too much room is a matter of inches and sometimes a matter of feet. But it's just so crazy how quickly the Affinity Reborn can get things going, and for the Order Paradox, it's about meeting that challenge and meeting it early, cutting off those passing lanes, and being able to kind of be that presence before it starts getting started.
Here we go, it's game one, done and dusted. Affinity Reborn off to a start that I think most people expected here tonight, but to continue that, Order Paradox are going to give them a tough time with their defensive structure, so Affinity Reborn will have to find a little bit more to make Order Paradox a little more awkward, because even though they had to face so much defense, Order Paradox have been characteristically quite calm in this match, and I think that is only going to do well for them as the series continues. But Tomato taking it away, Smokey will stop him off the back wall, and Order Paradox continue to show us that their defense is not one to panic easily.
Well defended here at the midfield line. Ale now off,
oh my goodness,
high on the backboard, but the slight touch to disrupt coming out of Affinity Reborn, enough to throw off the attack. They buy themselves some time. Now to midfield. Tomato, the long shot landed there, and the defensive powerhouse with the save once again.
That's Landon's gameplay for you here, but Affinity Reborn still have tricks up their sleeve. The midfield fully in their control. Now Elites, the flip reset to Elite. Order Paradox back. He's faked the demo. Smokey, though, gets the challenge, but Affinity Reborn is being played right into them here. As Soj in midfield, that's just across the nets, but no one there to challenge. And you just see these close quarters combat going Affinity's way. A challenge from Elites, and Landon got pushed up too high.
This is what Elites can do. The capabilities, the vision he has on the pitch is something you always have to be weary of. Even just merely a sliver of a window, Elites can make it happen. Now off the kickoff, the floater played away by Landon. Easy save, but one on target. And for Affinity Reborn, it's what they do best, is shots after shots after shots. Little Wayne himself would be excited.
I'm sure he would be, and that's the thing about Affinity Reborn, their playstyle. It's exciting to watch just how much the offense these guys have, because it's never ending. It's always possible. They can just move up the field and take a shot on you. They do it so quickly, they do it so efficiently, and just look at the pace at which they get upfield. Elites now, he's got his chance, and that really didn't take all that long before he got that opportunity. Affinity Reborn have such good pacing that Order Paradox have to watch themselves on every challenge they go for, because once Affinity have the ball, they don't give it away easily, and they usually don't give it away without at least one chance on net. As Elites here, open goal to shoot at, and there he goes again. Affinity Reborn cannot be touched right now. 2 goals for the favorites, as Order Paradox's defense just can't do enough.
They're leaving Again, it's these passing lanes. We see Affinity Reborn capitalizing on them. The Order Paradox getting into them sooner than later. Landon now, the shot from mid-range going a little wide. Still trailed by 2. The Order Paradox looking for a little bit of breathing room. Smokey now, late touch, almost finds its way over the defense. This one played away by Elites, looking for a clear, removed off the pitch. Now to the far side. The Order Paradox looking to maintain possession. Ailes up, he's got the touch to the back wall, but it's executed by perfection off the backboard from Affinity Reborn.
I've been impressed with some of these backboard reads from some of these guys. It is not easy to read those touches, even at the level that these guys are at. There's a reason why people still challenge you there, and it's because everybody's so talented at reading it. As Soj off the back, our first double tap of the series. We've seen a couple attempts, but none have hit just like this. And in fact, not even a double tap. That's an home goal from Ale. It makes it all the more worse for Order Paradox.
We need a Reborn. It looked like Soj was going to be able to close that one out. An unfortunate touch towards the net does give him a 3-point lead. Now out in front. These are the moments where Affinity Reborn gets their scariest. Is once they get the lead and that confidence come out, they know that they have that wiggle room if things don't go right. It is when they almost play at their best, when their guards let down a little bit, and for the Order Paradox, they're going to want to find a way to stunt that confidence.
Yeah, most teams play better when they're in the lead, and Affinity Reborn is no different, but the scary thing about this team is the fact that when they're in the lead, they're unbeatable at the level that they play at, and as you said, they're just such a scary team overall when they are at this confidence level, because they only score more, and they only make things more and more difficult. Another chance in front, and just look at the confidence from Infinity War. Even if they make mistakes, these guys don't care. They know that they have such a lead, and it's almost as if they're just saying that they've already won. That's the scary part about the play style they have. It feels like they've already won, even though this game still has a whole minute to go. That's just the kind of aura that Affinity Reborn bring. Is now another chance in front, landing with another block, but Order Paradox, that offense has not been seen this game, and it's only getting worse as Elites will pickpocket that one. And if you thought it wasn't over yet, I think that goal will change your mind.
Stealing the cookies out the cookie jar through the kitchen window. Elites. An early challenge pays off, and that's not the first time we've seen him do it. And some of the capabilities that these players start to bring out, and for Elites, player known to find their way amongst the top 100 in ones. It is no doubt that he's able to find some of these opportunities, and these are the moments that we talk about. It's not a matter of if Affinity Reborn is going to put points up, it's how many are they going to put up, and if the Order Paradox can go toe-to-toe with them, because I like using Tom Brady, but fourth quarter Tom Brady was something scary, and Affinity Reborn bring that similar energy. They're going to close out game number 2, now in the lead, 2-0 tonight's series.
Just like Tom Brady, it feels like cheating here for Affinity Reborn with how well they're playing. Sorry. Now, you know what? I don't regret saying that. I'm so sorry, guys. If any of you out there are Patriots fans, my apologies, but not really. I had to make that joke. As we're going in the game for your Affinity Reborn, though, up 2-0, and it doesn't seem close, Tommy. That's the scary part about it. It doesn't seem close, and that's the scary part for the Order Paradox, because they're not even that bad of a team. They just don't have what it takes to take down the Affinity Reborn right now. And that's true for most teams, and I really don't know if any team in this league has the ability, because we have not seen anybody stop this team all season long. The closest was World going to Game 5, but even then, Affinity Reborn took it. I'm very worried for the Paradox's chances, because right now, they look quite slim.
Yeah, they've got to find a way to... I mean, I know if you're a Affinity Reborn fan, you don't want to hear it, but the aggression goes a long way. When you got players like Elites that have the capabilities that he has and is having the game he is having tonight, I mean, you've got to get a little aggressive. You got to put a hand in the face. You've got to do something and shut down these opportunities, because right now they're just flying high for Affinity Reborn. They're looking to continue that here tonight. The Order Paradox. A fresh start here headed into game number 3, the kickoff underway.
And what I think is most crucial about that break is the fact that the Order Paradox did not use their tactical timeouts. So, obviously, they've got still some confidence left in them, because if teams lose their confidence, you know they're calling that timeout as soon as they can. But Affinity Reborn, right back into how they start, and Order Paradox looking to get some confidence back, but it hasn't done well. 16 seconds in, and already Elites have scored. And for Order Paradox, I'm starting to question whether or not they should have used that tactical timeout.
Yeah, it's something to just have that conversation about slowing down Elites. Again, open air and shot finds its way through. Elites now finds Tomato off the kickoff over the midfield. The reset, almost looking like a delay or a fake, and this one well defended. That's the type of defensive performance we need to continue to see from the Order Paradox. Now Ale back towards the net. The bump looking to be had from Smokey, but this one comes through just a tad too late. The turnover of possession. Affinity Reborn back the other way.
Order Paradox still stuck on defense, and they really can't be here. At this point in the series, they know the best way to really beat Affinity Reborn is not to play the defense against them. You've got to be able to bring those counterattacks somehow and some way, because Affinity Reborn can be somewhat susceptible to quick attacks. They are so used to playing on offense so often that playing defense for them, especially getting back to defense quickly, is actually an issue for these guys. But right now, Order Paradox has not been able to get any of these quick breaks, and it's only getting worse. Tomato's dunk nearly made it 2 goals for Affinity, and if a second goal goes in for Affinity already, I start to consider if Order Paradox even have the opportunities to come back, because they've only scored once this series so far.
Nice center. Elites on it to the backboard. Well defended here from Ailes. Things were looking dangerous. Got the room through one. Now the ball sits. Landon. Shot rings out. This one finds its target. It's 1-1. And when the Order Paradox needed to find one, this was a goal to start the momentum for him. I think getting out in front here, I don't want to find myself in reverse sweep territory against Affinity Reborn if it were me.
I don't want to find myself in losing territory, but as you see from Order Paradox, they're utilizing what I said is the strategy to beat this team. Counterattacks, quick attacks, and they do it again. It's Ale to shoot this time. And Order Paradox now with their first lead of the series. And as I told you, Tommy, it's the counterattacks. That's Affinity Reborn's weakness.
They play so aggressive, so confident. It sometimes allows them to be just a little over stimulated onto the pitch, where they almost too far forward, and way to capitalize on a moment. Ale wants the shot, and you can feel the confidence starting to be there for the Order Paradox.
Oh, no.
They're getting up for opportunities, but this one, close call. The Order Paradox stay alive.
I thought you cursed them there for a moment, Tommy, because that one really did look like it had everything to go in, as now Elites shooting on the wrong net. He's very fortunate to have that one go wide, and already we're seeing some strange plays from these sides. You're starting to see the strategies here in Game 3, and, well, unlike Order Paradox, they're quite unorthodox here, as here they go again. Ale, the dribble, is going to try to keep it up, but Elites will tape it away. While he has his boost stolen, he will still challenge Affinity Reborn, looking for the chance to field, and for the first time in this series, they're the ones in the back foot, and they're the ones playing the defensive.
This is where you want to be. You want to make them as uncomfortable as possible. Team that almost relies on the confidence, breaking up the monotony. The Order Paradox lead by 1 inside 2 minutes. Landon now to midfield. Finds Ale. Shot wide. The putback from Smokey. Yabba dabba doo. It's a slow roller to the inside corner.
Yeah, such a smart play there from the captain of Order Paradox. He knows Tomato's gonna pre-jump that one and look to cover as much net as possible. So the best thing to do, don't shoot fast where he could save it. Shoot slow, shoot low, and shoot truthfully. And that's exactly what the Order Paradox do.
Hoping to continue to ride this momentum, the energy picking up for the Order Paradox. Elites now up at midfield. Now Soj Gets the reset and the 50 all in the rafters, but isn't going to be enough. The long-range shot from Ale on target. Affinity Reborn managed to keep this one out, and for a team struggling on defense, they need something as things are starting to find its way back into the hands of the Order Paradox.
Yeah, now the Affinity Reborn don't have the lead. You're seeing quite a different team play here. It's one that the counterattacks of Order Paradox are counting as now leads. The flick stopped by Landon. And it's Affinity Reborn right now who are just looking for anything, as you said, anything upfield, any chances. This is them really on that panic, and it is not looking pretty for them out here as Order Paradox just continue to challenge that midfield so well, and Affinity Reborn cannot break through as a whiff on the back wall, and Landon to put in another. It's a 3-goal difference, and the Order Paradox are in total control.
Looking so strong here in game number 3, and it was a moment where I feel like they needed to step up to the plate. We said we needed to see them get into the batter's box and be able to take those swings, and for the time being, that seems to be the case. The demo rings out. Elite's looking to open up an opportunity. This one now to the far side. One bounce to Soj to the backboard. He gets the touch. The double lands. They call him Super Soj for a reason.
Super Soj, more like Superman. He's up in the air and he's up and away. Affinity Reborn, drop it down. A beautiful goal, even if it's only for consolation. But that's got to bring some of the life back into this team.
30 seconds away. We've seen the quickest turnaround of time happen from 2/3 of this roster almost 2 years ago here in this very channel with Sporty. In the booth. It was me and you together. They did it in 28 seconds. Now down by 2 with 10 on the clock. The Order Paradox clinching on to the momentum here in game number 3. And as time dwindles down, they will find themselves one step closer in the series.
They were swept before, but not again, and the Order Paradox have brought the response back here in Game 3. And Affinity Reborn has got some work to do. This is no walk in the park for them, and well, that game is only one game, and we could definitely see them bounce back. It does put a wrench in their plans. It's going to be a lot tougher from here on out for them, because now the Order Paradox are playing, they're looking quite confident, and if they rely on those counterattacks, Affinity Reborn's chances are not going to be very easy.
Need to see that similar aggression and confidence on offense on the other side of the pitch for Affinity. They kind of fell to a little bit of shambles as the aggression picked up from the Order Paradox, and they found themselves in territory they weren't necessarily familiar with. And for Affinity Reborn, I always talk about in these best of sevens about the storylines, being able to adapt. And you need, in a best of fives, you only need 3, but here you need 4. And to find perfection through 4 games is one of the toughest things to do. And for Affinity Reborn, their number was called in game number 3. The Order Paradox stood tall. Now headed to game number 4. Will things continue for them as they look to tie the series up? We're headed to the kickoff.
Game 4, match point still on the line here for Affinity Reborn, and still would be a great place to take it. A 3-1 lead in the series is nothing to be worried about. That's a great lead to take, but it's not going to start easily if they miss here, as Order Paradox nearly had that chance on targets, and already Affinity Reborn have got to be a little concerned because that whiff doesn't bode well for the future. They do get the clear of the tomato, stopped by Smoke as Elites will turn his tail. Here comes Soj, up he goes, but rocks away, in Order Paradox will keep the ball back. You're seeing them fighting this midfield, and man, that is making some huge difference, the fact that they can step up to Affinity Reborn right now.
They're coming out strong, and they were able to bounce back the early lead in favor of Affinity Reborn, but quick responses back the other way. The Order Paradox was able to find the momentum. Will that carry over? Will we see the aggression pan out in favor of them here early on? Smokey now up. Watch the double off the crossbar. A close call for Affinity Reborn.
Yeah, but not out of it just yet. Off the back wall. Ale! And Ale put it in the top left corner. The Order Paradox score first for the first time this series. And what a way to do it. High flying action of Affinity Reborn. Stuck grounded.
Ale has stepped up and like cracking up a barrel of aged whiskey, has been on fire in these last two matches, but So just takes it off the kickoff, and this one finds its way through. It was a slow finger roll, but it doesn't get stopped.
I think we've seen that go before, Tommy Buckets. Affinity Reborn right off the kickoff with a simple two-touch air dribble. It doesn't get much more simplistic to describe than that. And again, this team not perturbed, not concerned in the slightest. And for all that Order Paradox have done, they're going to have to do a lot of scoring here because, as we saw before, Affinity Reborn, once they get a goal, they like to back up multiple. The Order Paradox, they're going to have to do just the same if they have any chance of beating this team. As an infield pass just stopped by Smokey. Affinity Reborn not done with the offense yet, but here goes Landon. Up he goes to the corner, Soj to keep him out. A roll around to the corner, Soj the pinch, but it's straight to Smokey, and this one's on target. But Tomato will prevent the dunk, and Affinity Reborn will prevent any further opportunities as the Order Paradox will wait in the midfield.
Got to experience Smokey for the first time in our All-Star tournament following Season 4, and a player that I know has the mechanical capabilities. We almost saw that double tap land. I believe you continue to see some of this comfortability start coming out of Smokey. This could be a player create some trouble later in the series. Affinity Reborn tied things back up out in front in the series. They hope to keep that going. Ooh, they got a tough one, but it's not going to be enough. Soj just buries it. I just can't believe he had enough in the tank to get up and over Ale. Nothing left by the end of it. And Soj completing the play for a 2-1 lead for Affinity Reborn.
You may not have believed it, Tommy. I think there was someone else who didn't believe it, and that was Ale. He did not move at all from where he was standing. He just didn't think Affinity Reborn had any opportunities at taking that, and they're showing us why they're so good. There's another pass in front! Oh, it's absolutely beautiful! It leads to put in the easiest shot he could have thought of, and this really was just all brought on by the incredible skill of Soj with a two-player air dribble beat.
Beautiful performance, and this is the danger zone that the Order Paradox wanted to avoid. The free-flowing Affinity Reborn roster. Dangerous when out in front. Now the clear to midfield. Soj on a pickup. Watch the redirect. A bold move, Sporty, but one that almost found its way through. Would have been chaos on the defensive line, and that one found the wiggle room.
And that's the scary thing about Soj. We know he can hit those shots as well. Even if we don't see him do it, as now Elite's a 1v1, he can definitely hit these, and he looks for the bump. Landon will keep his ground, and again, incredible defense from this guy, who has really kept Order Paradox in it in some of these losing games. But it hasn't been enough, and with only 100 seconds to go, Order Paradox need offense, and they need it soon. A flick ahead, though, Smokey to keep it in. This could be a great chance for them, but Ale's touch has gone the wrong direction. The Order Paradox will keep it still, but they don't have the players upfield, and they won't get the shots from it either, as some miscommunication, some misrotation, and that's all that it needs, that Affinity Reborn needs to take away these chances from the Order Paradox.
Looking for a clear, Ale through the corner. Can't find it through Soj, needs some assistance. Smokey upfield, redirect off the backboard, but the defense is there, and a booming clear for Affinity Reborn. All the work quickly shut down as Soj buries it from the midfield.
No questions here for Affinity Reborn. A whiff from Landon, and for Soj, he's got the whole right net asking to be scored on there. A little under a minute to go, but I think for the Order Paradox, that tactical timeout has to be utilized no matter how this game ends, because they're not winning it with this kind of a deficit. And you're seeing, again, even with this game starting off so well for the Order Paradox, it looked so confident. But what Affinity Reborn has done has been otherworldly when it comes to that kind of offense they've brought. It's the reason why they swept teams like 100x Chroma during the regular season, and it's the reason why Order Paradox doesn't stand a chance against them here in Game 4. That offense, that chemistry, it's just far too talented, far too strong to take down. Oh, but a goal back from Ale. Maybe I spoke too soon, Tommy. Maybe I spoke too soon. There's still 34 seconds left, and a comeback, while unlikely, is not impossible.
Ale's mental is one to be reckoned with as he keeps them close. Now 30 seconds remaining, and they trail by 2, and what once looked like a far reach has become a tad bit closer here for the Order Paradox. They need another quick one. They need some time on the clock for a chance to strike, and they got to get through a very strong game number 4 coming out of Affinity Reborn. Demanding lead now with 10 seconds left. Time running out for the Order Paradox. Affinity Reborn will find themselves on match point.
One game away from taking this series, from moving on to the semifinals. And I have a feeling we'll be seeing that tactical timeout used by the Order Paradox here. They do have it. They do know that they can use it. They're surprised they haven't called it yet. We'll see if they do, though. But Tommy Buckets, this is what we expect from Affinity Reborn. This is how talented these guys are. They're just that scary team to take on. But what we're seeing here is no call for that tactical timeout. And we'll see if the Order Paradox wants to utilize it, but if they don't, what a decision that is. They aren't going to use it here. My goodness, what a confident play for the Order Paradox. They don't want the tactical timeouts. And that surprises me, because with how badly the series has gone for them, you really think of all times now they have to utilize it, but I guess I'm not the Order Paradox.
Listen, not only are they confident,
I know that they're chatting in the text chat.
It is amazing. A little bit of small friendly banter between the two teams. Affinity Reborn, though, back in familiar territory. 1 game away from putting an end to the series for the Order Paradox. Now, we've seen greatness so far in the blink of an eye down to the Riptide Cup. We've seen teams turn it around, and we were looking at Champions Field out of nowhere. But does the Order Paradox have what it takes? We're about to find out next.
Big one comeback, pretty recognizable comeback on the stream. I've coined it a lot, and we've seen it a lot on the stream, but it hasn't happened on the stream in a little while for matches like this. And we'll see if the Order Paradox can maybe change that, maybe create that streak as almost an own goal from Landon. Not a good start as Soj in front for leads, but it will go a little too far from him. He won't be able to stretch around to get that one. As we're already seeing Order Paradox with this, early scares here. That defensive structure isn't really there. That rotation's falling apart, and against Affinity Reborn, you need to be perfect. And right now, we have not seen it here as a mistake. That one's open, and Elites has missed it. That should have been in. Affinity Reborn have been given far too many opportunities to not have scored yet.
I feel like every player on the pitch had to have just been holding their breath, because I know I was. A close call for the Order Paradox, and for the time being, they keep things even. Steven now the clear from Ale into the corner. Player that has been fairly pivotal here in the latter half of the series. Early on, we saw some huge, oh my goodness. If that would have landed from Smokey, I would have lost my mind. Would have been one of the grossest touches I think we've seen in this series. And that's saying a lot, because we've seen some pretty remarkable double taps coming from both squads so far.
I know, we've seen some pretty insane stuff from some of these teams at this level, but I wouldn't deny now, and even in the playoffs, to see some even crazier stuff. I mean, it is the time for that here, but Affinity Reborn giving no time to the Order Paradox for those opportunities as Ale the pinch away. And that one will be challenged by Soj, but Tomato now. Oh, what a fake. Oh, that's beautiful from Tomato. Smokey just got caught looking there. Tomato has just absolutely broke his ankles, and that is not going to look good on the highlight reel. As Affinity Reborn back at it again, Elites off the ceiling. He won't get the shot, but the Order Paradox, we're just seeing why Affinity Reborn's been so talented. You're seeing it from the midfield here. These challenges have been so tough to take down, and while Order Paradox have had chances to break through, we've seen very little come from any of these opportunities.
They've got to be able to find that shooter right now. Seems to be the missing piece, and I feel like they're both trying to fake each other out, and it's just fake after fake. The playbooks, the reaching in, trying to find out what is and isn't going to work, and Why not? The season on the line. You need to find something to land. Smokey wants a center. Now Ale
Ooh, what a
looking
dunk.
for it, but the 50. Tomato's going to find this one through the defense and nobody home on the backside.
Just a great dunk there. Tomato pushed high, and again, Order Paradox caught. Not expecting the challenges from Affinity Reborn to come so early, but that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're playing. Affinity Reborn isn't sitting on the goal line. So often we see these teams that like to play this offense sit back really far. Affinity Reborn's not one of those teams. They will push up against you if they see those challenges, and they do it often. And for the Order Paradox, it's only making things tougher for them because, you know, not only are they playing defense simulator on their own back end, but when they do that offense, they're shut down almost immediately by the Affinity Reborn challenges. Now that they're down a goal, we know what Affinity Reborn are like when they're in the lead. It can only get worse from here unless Order Paradox can find something miraculous.
Tomato now wants it out to the midfield. Does find it. And Landon trying to get fancy after the pickup at the midfield line. Leeds not having it. Big clear off the backboard, but Tomato back in, wants it. And again, shut down at the backboard. And it looks like we got a Rule 1 going on inside of the net.
I think we both saw it at the exact same time there. We got I believe it's Soj, I think it's Smokey and the blue net there just holding and locking down. And we'll see who's better than 2v2s. I have a feeling, though, we'll see how this works, but I feel like with the lead still in the field, I don't really know if I bank on Order Paradox's chances in a 2v2 matchup. This does allow for, you know, goals to happen a little more often here. And right now, though, Landon running havoc, and he's done that a little bit more often as these games have gone on. A lot more demo-free, a lot more aggressive as AL, the double tap, couldn't put it down. And Landon can't challenge as Affinity Reborn. A little panicky on defense, but overall, Resell as the captain probably cheering them from that blue net. We'll see if Affinity Reborn do well here. Tomato, flip reset, stopped by Ale. Less than a minute to go with the season on the line, and the Order Paradox holding on to the 2v2 situation here. They only need one goal, one chance to take it. Landon might have it. This one in front. He's got the B2. And it's Landon all alone to keep Order Paradox in the series.
It's always the playoffs where magic happens. A little bit of scoreboard symmetry here in the quarterfinals. 1-0-4-0-1. It's written in the stars here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Smokey now over the midfield. Now the cross, early challenge from Tomato, but the shot from far. This one going a little wide. Energy starting to develop here for the Order Paradox, and we've seen them in this area before, and Reborn struggled to deal with a confident Order Paradox, and if they can continue to keep this energy up, this could start to be the beginning of trouble. Reborn known to go toe-to-toe with some of the best.
Yes, time runs out. It's 0 seconds. They could end it there. A big stop on the goal line, and that could have ended the series. Affinity Reborn are 1 goal away from moving to the semifinals. Any chance can do it for the Order Paradox. The season on the line. Landon saved them in the regular 5 minutes, but there's a lot more game to go as here comes Affinity Reborn on offense with Tomato. The consistency and the confidence still high for this team because they have so much behind them. Elites couldn't get the dribble around Smokey. Order Paradox will now go for their chance. This one to the back wall. Soj to keep him away, but with 30 seconds already gone, and it's the Order Paradox on offense, and it's Affinity Reborn. We're just waiting for the opportunity to show itself. Elites might have it. Flip reset. Could use it. The ground play. Second touch. Oh, what a block. Ale got demoed, but he got it up on it. And Order Paradox continue to defy all imagination to stay in this tournament.
They are putting it on the line in this OT, but it's not going to be enough. The coach, Tomato, seals the deal. Affinity Reborn take this series.
They moved to the semifinals. The Order Paradox stood no chance, and while they kept it close in some of these games, it's Affinity Reborn who swept them in the regular season. It's Affinity Reborn who are just as good, and now even better at this point in the season. And unfortunately for the Order Paradox, they're just coming against a team that's just far too good. And that's the scary part about, you know, Affinity Reborn is that oftentimes when they play against teams, these teams are just too good. And, you know, I hate to say it like that because it seems so, you know, boring, but Affinity Reborn, there's a reason why they're the top team here. And they're the top team by far, Tommy Buckets. They're just that good.
Yeah, they're that good. They're scary to deal with. And like I said, when they get that confidence, when they find that rhythm, they're one of the toughest teams to shut down. I've seen them go far into the postseason. I've seen them go on some pretty nuts lower bracket runs over in BLCS fairly recently. The last couple of months between Mach 10 and Affinity Reborn is a scary precedence to have to see them on your schedule. And they have shown that they belong here, now headed one step closer to the grand finals.
Yeah, but of course, before we do that, we are going to get a little interview, I think, with Affinity Reborn here. But before we even do that, we got to recap what our next match is. You'll be joining me again for that match later tonight, Tommy Buckets. But might as well talk a little bit about that match. Our next team not found, Affinity Academy. I think the last of the 135 teams in all tournaments here in all these brackets. And it's their best, probably, to win, with their chances. Our next team not found, the top team in the Surge Cup. They've got a matchup here to prove that they deserve a spot in finals. It's gonna be an insane matchup, Tommy Buckets, and I know you're joining me for that one. So, you gotta tell me kind of the excitement to know that our team that found are still en route to take what would be a championship that eluded them last season.
Yeah, as soon as the season ended, Jay messaged me and said they were coming back next season. They want the championship. He's been chasing it down since the dawn of season 5, and it lays in front of him here tonight. Team Not Found taking on Affinity Academy, who are playing strong. I feel like this may be some of the strongest performance we've seen out of Affinity Academy. They took just a few losses in the regular season, and they bounced back fairly effectively from it. And they look forward to taking them on here tonight. I know there's a lot of energy.
Tuesday.
I'm pumped to witness that happen.
Yes, I know who else is pumped. It's
What's up, brother?
Reborn, they're joining in. I know Leeds just said Tuesday for whatever reason. So hopefully he's
Tuesday.
At least it is Friday, my friend. I think we need to get at least a calendar with those prize winnings here. But for Affinity Reborn, congratulations on making it now to the semifinals. Take on Pink Lemonade. So you guys got the number 1 overall seed, and I like a lot of people would say it's kind of expected that you guys would make it this far. But it really can't be expected with a single elimination format. So, how are you feeling after that performance? What is your first performance in the playoffs this season?
I'm honestly, it was all right. It was okay. I feel like they came back a lot stronger this time. And I'm glad we could get the dub. But like, judging by our recent results in BLCS and the Grand Circuit, I wasn't really concerned with what was going to happen.
You guys came out, and we talk about a lot about how well you guys just kind of roll once you start getting things going. Is the confidence just flowing, and you guys just get into a free flow state? I know you don't want to give out all the secrets here. Is there anything particular about Affinity Reborn when they're out in front by a couple of points?
Well, whenever we've got the vibes high, there's nothing in the world that can stop us. And one of the things that really exemplifies that is when we were in the BLCS lower finals. I think was it lower finals or what? It was lower finals. We went down 0-3, and we just said, this is it. Let's have a good time, at the very least, so we can enjoy the time. And then, once our vibes got up, our momentum got up, and I don't think any of the RLSS teams could even beat us in that series. That's how confident we were. So to bring that back here, like every single match here, we're up against the wall. So that is our thing. When we're up against the wall, we go.
And I love to hear that kind of confidence. Again, there's a reason you guys have been the top team here. And against Order Paradox, what was it like, Elites, to play against a team on a Friday, by the way, here that's a team that you had already beaten in the regular season? Because so often in the playoffs, you play against teams that you don't know. But here you played against a team you did. What was it like to have that rematch? Did that make things easier for you guys or tougher?
Definitely gave us, at least me personally, a little bit of a confidence boost, just knowing that we already had, they kind of just knew coming in that we've beat them before, more or less. I don't think it gave me a confidence boost, but I feel like in my head, if I got swept by a team before,
I'd be a bit hesitant going into the next game. So I don't know. Kind of gave me confidence that they were nervous. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I don't know. You guys have been absolutely scary to deal with for the last like 2-3 months at least that I know of from casting you guys across different leagues, and it's been exciting to see this new roster come together. You guys are showing just why you belong at the top, and we've seen you guys here before, and I look forward to seeing what you guys show for us in the semifinals. Is there anything in particular that you have to say to Hollow on the team from Pink Lemonade headed into tomorrow night?
I mean, I think that match is probably going to be one of the biggest matches in all of Tsunami Cup ever. So, I guess my only words are everyone should be there to see it. It's gonna be a banger.
Love to hear that as well. Again, these guys feeling that confidence as well. Tomato. I know again, it's not a lot of time, but what are you guys gonna do to prepare? Because as the season gets longer, these matches get tougher, and you guys know single elimination, you lose, you're out. So you guys cannot drop a step. What are you guys gonna do to make sure that you guys keep the confidence going? Because again, Pink Lemonade's a tough matchup, and the grand final is gonna be pretty tough. You guys gotta do a lot to make sure that you guys play as consistently as you have this season.
Yeah, I think we just need to stay consistent in our preparation, right? Scrims before games, scrims outside of match days, and just being on the game whenever we can to continue to improve.
Love to hear that. Again, the confidence coming here from Affinity Reborn. We're going to let you guys go because I know you guys got to prepare for that matchup tomorrow against Pink Lemonade in that final bracket. But before you guys go, we are going to get some little shout outs here. We might as well do it. Let's start with Elites. Is there any shout outs you have? Anything you want to say to the people watching out there that have supported Affinity Reborn?
Oh, shout out Yulty. That's it.
Oh, simple as can be. Now we'll move on to Tomato here. Is there anything that you'd like to say, Tomato? Anybody in particular that you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, I'll also shout out Yulty, new member of my collegiate roster. Good to see the kid putting in work. And then I know Hugh Dog missed my shout out last time. Shout out to Hugh Dog. Big support from him. Appreciate it.
And now we'll have things with Soju. Again, has been in this league for such a long amount of time on Affinity Reborn. To see this team, create incredible success in so many different divisions. What do you have to say, Soj, here?
I gotta say shout out to Shay. Shout out to Shay.
Again,
I think he means Slim Shady.
we'll be seeing Shay and Affinity Academy play later tonight against Hunter's Team Not Found. So you guys better be there to support them later tonight. As again, thank you all so much for joining. Though Elite, Soj, and Tomato, congrats on your win over the Order of Paradox. Have a great night, and with any luck, we'll see you guys on the stream again in the grand finals.
Heck yeah.
Well, Tommy.
Thank you guys.
Awesome. Thank you
Thanks
guys.
for the catch.
As Tommy Buckets, again, we'll be seeing you for that semifinals coming up here. So, I mean, how are you feeling about that match? I know, again, we're going to be off for a little break, but how do you feel about that upcoming match?
I'm pumped for it. I think Team Not Found has proven themselves worthy here in RLSS, and I think they're going to bring that type of energy here tonight. And for Affinity Academy, I think, like I said, after the performance against Swordfish Splash Bros, I think that we're starting to see what they're capable of. And if they're able to step up to the plate, again, I think that same situation goes to stand for Affinity Academy. It's about, can they get into the batter's box, not only take those swings, but make contact with the ball? Because if they're able to do that tonight, seen Affinity Academy at their top, seen them at their peak, they can go toe-to-toe with Team Not Found, and we could be looking at a wonderful night.
And we could be here as, again, that upcoming match, Hunter's Team Not Found and Affinity Academy. We'll be with that match soon, but for now, we're going to go off to a break. We'll be back with that series, the semifinals for the Rocket League Splash Series Season 5. Season 5, sponsored by GameZone.tv, Invispar Entertainment, Heady Scarf Game, purchase and resell claim to fame. We'll be back to you guys shortly.